The Blue Jewel.
Chapter 6. Part 1. At that time, bandits ruled the Deadlands. They wreaked a lot of havoc on whomever they intended to use. The Southern Road. After a meticulous ploy planned by the Dragon Ridge Coalition, it was possible to recover the security that the road required. Chronicles of the Dragon's Ridge. Volume XXI. Asia Ilamunin. The crossing was pleasant and brief. At this time of year sailing through the Strait of the Sea of Ice was quite placid, nothing to do with the sea conditions during the winter. After 5 days' journey, they reached the port of Essamania, the capital of the Kingdom of Syria, north of the Dragon's Ridge mountain range. From here the rest of the journey would be by land using heavy wagons until they reached their destination, the Kingdom of Demember. Arian observed from the deck of the ship the profile of the city of Essamania. It was noticeable that this city was very different from tame, simpler and poorer constructions. The port was much smaller than that of the capital of the Kingdom of Bir, and despite Essamania being a capital of a very important kingdom, compared to Tame, it now seemed like a simple village to her. Arian now felt more confident in herself. She was already out of the realm of Bir and away from the mags of the Order of the White Robes. They remained in that city for 2 weeks, while the ships arrived loaded with the iron purchased at Bir and the iron was placed in the wagons. The young woman was curious about the specific location of Demember and the caravan's travel plan, so Agnorok showed her some maps that Gosberg had saved. Arian discovered that Demember was located in the south of the continent. To the north of the kingdom lay the great chain of Dragon Ridge Mountains, which ran across Darsuk from northwest to southwest. The most traveled route was the coastal road, but the king planned to use another route, little traveled, the southern road, that ran west of the Dragon Ridge mountain range and next to the Desert of Lower, or of the Deadlands, an extensive unexplored territory, where it was said only the law of the strongest prevailed. They were to follow this route south until they reached the lower pass, where the road crossed the great mountain range, and then headed east to Demember. It was a very risky and unknown path. Previous attempts had failed, but the king had decided on this path because the other way involved passing through the great kingdom of Olbiana. All the other kingdoms were without a nearby supply of iron, and that was the reason for the king's long and complicated journey, to obtain iron and find a safe new route to stock up on that precious mineral. The preparations for the huge caravan to Demember were enormous. The king was screaming orders all day long. Even Gosberg seemed to be very immersed in such a complicated task of quartermaster. In spite of all the difficulties, after 3 weeks' stay in Essamania the huge caravan finally set out, more than 200 wagons taking part in this enormous adventure.